Everybody's in the house. We got the panel over here. We got Lady J. We got C-Con. We got Golden Beauty. We got Dr. Intimacy. Got Dr. Intimacy right there. And down on the end, who was that down on the end down there?
Minister
Aubrey Eubank. Everybody, this is everybody out here in the audience. Y'all we got the Cadillac Rollers out here supporting me and everything like that. Got the Texas Tie guy over there with that silk and that pretty stuff over there. That King gear. I call it King gear. We got Herbalife in the house. You know what I'm saying? With health and fitness. We got Senate Sensations in the house. Natasha Border. She over there setting up. She gonna have this. She gonna have it smelling good up in here. It smells good in here already. But once she gets to lighting that stuff up over there, that's some good stuff. And I just want to thank everybody for coming out and enjoying. We got the American Legion over there representing over there. They came out and support. And I want to thank everybody for coming out. So we're about to go live. We're going to go live off of Facebook, though, right now. Turn your ringers on your phones off. This is Big Mouth Radio, recording live from Club X with the King Charles question of the day, sponsored by the Texas Tie Guy, Just for Laughs Production, Senate Sensations, Herbalife. What we're going to do today, we're going to bring you some questions from different perspectives, questions that you just don't want to talk about every now and then. Questions like, why is a woman's expectation so high? Do all men lie? What's a real man? What's a real woman? Real man versus a mature man. Is there a difference? Repairing black love in the relationship, in the community, and different other questions. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to start off by asking a question. What's a real man? First, I'm going to elaborate on it. To me, a real man, it's only a man that is probably honest. Let's look at the word real. Real means honesty. So if a man is honest, in my book, he's considered a real man. Now look at all the other attributes. Just because he's honest doesn't mean that he has integrity. Because integrity is doing the right thing when no one's looking.
That's right.
If I say a gentleman he's honest, I don't know what he does behind closed doors. Right. But we've talked about this before. In my opinion, it's not a real man, it's a mature man. C-Con, you want to elaborate on that?
I agree. I think in order to be considered a real man, like you said, you do have to be honest. Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is looking. Mic check. Uh-oh, there we go. And so, yeah, I agree 100%. And I think as far as in the black community, I think we need to repair that and do better as men. We haven't been honest in a lot of ways. And I think in order for relationships to improve, that's one of the first steps that's going to have to be taken is black men being more honest in relationships.
Amen.
Okay, well, let's look at it from a woman's perspective. Dr. Intimacy?
I would definitely say that a real man is a man that follows God, because a man was made in the likeness and the image of God, and he was given an assignment to be fruitful and to multiply and to take dominion over the earth. And so I really think the fundamentals of being a real man is to understand that you are to have dominion over the earth. And the word husband means house band. It actually means to be a band of protection around your house. And so it really just goes back to understanding your assignment as a man.
Okay. Now, on that particular question, does it apply for both genders? Lady J, what's a real woman?
What's a real woman? Sorry. Can y'all hear me? No. You can't hear me.
Mic check.
Can y'all hear me now? Okay. What I consider as a real woman is a woman who understands her role, not only as a woman, but as a mother, as a sister, as a daughter. And so as real women, it's very hard for us to try to get a man to understand his role if we don't understand ours. And so it's very important that we understand who we are, not only to the man, but who we are supposed to be here on earth. And so we all have a purpose. And so as women, we have to define that. And so that's where you hear a lot of people say, I am. Well, who are you? You should be able to tell someone who you are. What's your role? What is it that you're supposed to do as a mother? And it also comes with a level of accountability, responsibility, integrity. All of that comes into play when you talk about a mother. Being a mother is just not getting up with your child at night because your baby is sick. There's more to it than that. You have to be able to nurture your child. You have to be able to set the standards, especially if you're a single mother and there's not a man in the household. There has to be standards within the household. And so there's a level of authority that we have as women, just like the man has a level of authority as well, which he was created to rule. But we all have to understand our purpose and know what are our actions. What is it that we're supposed to be doing, not only within the household, but outside of it.
Wow. Absolutely. That was very good. Same question. Real woman, Golden Beauty.
I think a real woman realizes her place as a man's helpmate. We have to put our husbands, not boyfriends, first under God. We have to be his strength when he's weak. We have to, when we have children, put ourselves, actually, our lives almost stop when it comes to our family as our roles as parents and wife. Everybody else is first, and then we come behind that. It's about not being selfish. It's about taking your role with the pride and smiling all the way through. It's about making sure your man has that smile on his face that you put there. From the moment he walks out the door to the moment he walks back in, greet him with all the intention of, hey, baby. That's what you do about that. That's why I see a woman, a real woman.
Absolutely.
I thought I heard some romantic music, bro. For a minute there. I want to go on to another topic. I want to go on to another question. This might bring a little controversy. Everybody might not agree. Is it true that all men lie, practice lying? Minister Aubrey Eubanks?
So here's the thing, that we're wired differently than women. We are the dominant. We go at what we want to go at by any means necessary. If we see something that we like and we are attracted to it, yet we fall short of the demands of the modern day black women. Sometimes we fall short of the demands of the modern day black woman, so that we have to fabricate things so that we can meet the standard that they want for us to meet.
Absolutely.
All of us don't drive BMWs. All of us don't have boxtail suits. Some of us are hard-working black men, but yet it's still, please don't, kill me. Some of us look at the material aspect, the outside layers, but the scripture says that we should look at the heart of a man.
Absolutely.
So until we look at an individual's heart, we're looking at the exterior, and sometimes the exterior is a lie. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So now, back to the other thing, is that sometimes we are wired, we are taught, we have to be re-educated as black men, that a man is supposed to be the breadwinner. That person that doesn't take care of his family, according to scripture, is less than an infidel, is an unbeliever. So now we have to be as Christ, love your wife as Christ loved the church. So what did Christ do? He died for the church. So if you're not willing to sacrifice yourself to be with somebody, now you have to lie to be with that person that has set a standard that is not all of us can meet.
Wow.
Make sense?
Yes, yes.
Very good.
Wow.
I would like to elaborate on that. You know, that's a good perspective. You know, I want to look at it from a psychological basis, from experience, and I'm gonna go from experience on this one. Today's men are raised differently. We're raised in the essence of fear. So when I'm backed in a corner, I'm gonna lie my way out of that corner. I'm gonna fight my way out of that corner. You know, just take, for instance, I'm gonna give you something we talked about in psychology class, and he explained it to us like this. There's thundering and lightning outside, and a little boy child runs to his mom's and his dad's bed. I'm scared. His dad immediately say, boy, don't be scared. There ain't nothing but lightning and thunder. Don't cry, you a punk. Right there, he embedded fear in his heart and told him it's not right to fear. So when it not right to feel. I talked about this earlier. So if we are taught not to feel, when we're faced with a time that we have to feel real feelings, we're gonna lie our way out of it.
Right.
Immediately.
Right.
See, Con?
Right.
Oh man, I agree. And just to elaborate on that, I do think that you know, that's something that we don't talk about a lot. We don't have, and I can say I'm 35, man. My daddy never sat me down and talked to me about relationships and what my role should be as a man and how I should go about certain things. And he wasn't always there to be an example either. And I think that that's pretty common, and that's what we're seeing. That's one of the reasons why we're seeing a lot of young men that's not knowing how to play their roles in the household, not knowing how to play their roles as dads, not knowing how to play their roles as leaders, because no one ever showed them, just straight up.
Right.
And I'm making a vow to my son and to myself, both of my sons, to have that conversation with them and talk to them about how to treat a woman, and talk to them about leading, and talk to them about providing and just playing your role as a man, but at the same time, you know, caring for that woman. You know, we hear a lot of people talk about teaching young men to be players, you know, teaching them to, you know, play the women and all of that. And, you know, I understand that happens, and there's kind of a time in life where I guess that's okay. But at the same time, we need to talk to them about what's really supposed to happen, because that ain't what's really, really supposed to happen. And that's a large contributing factor to what's killing relationships and killing families. So we all should make a vow to address that issue and not just skip over it. Talk to our young men about being good men.
That's right.
Right. That's very good. Let's hear the same question, but from a woman's perspective. Dr. Intimacy?
Yeah, I really wanted to speak on that
Yeah, me
because
too.
I think it goes back to the first question that was asked about what is a real man, what is a mature man. Again, if a man understands who he is, he wouldn't feel the need to lie. The Bible says that God is not a man that he should lie.
That's right.
So then if we understand that we're made in his likeness and his image, if a man was created to take dominion, a king never has to lie about anything because he has absolute authority. A king is the highest authority in his own kingdom.
Right.
He has no one to answer to. So why would there be a need to lie for a man that understands that he's a king made in the image of the King of Kings?
All right.
Man, there's a lot of other factors that we can't really touch on within this
Capacity.
Right. But there's more to what you're saying, you know, and we can't touch on it because it'll take us totally off topic. But there's a lot going on, and I know y'all know there's a lot going on in the black community, and we are under attack.
Yes.
The black man especially.
Yes.
So I'm gonna just say that, and that's goes in with what you're saying, but we ain't gonna go there.
We're gonna bring it back a little bit. My next question is this that I'm gonna pose to the panel, and it's one of my favorite ones. And the reason why I post this question is because I tend to not see it anymore. And the question is, has the romance gone in our relationships?
I would like to answer that.
Has the romance gone? Is people just getting in relationships and marriages and just blah, just go day for day? What happened to the time when you first met her? The things that you did. What happened to the time when you first met him? The things that you did. I was taught by old school when I was younger, and it didn't register until pretty much older in life, that the same thing that you did to get her is the same thing that you do every day to keep her.
Absolutely.
So with that said, Lady J.
Wow. I think that concerning relationships and the romance and all of that, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we don't understand friendship and intimacy.
That's so true.
And I think that's the truth, is that we don't understand the sole purpose of communication, development, and equipping. You get what I'm saying? Like, it takes a lot for someone to really, really keep the attention of someone, especially if you don't really know them. So if you jump into something and just jump into it, then eventually 6 months to a year down the line, it's not going to be anything there. Then you're going to go out searching for something else. And then we're in divorce court. We're going through all these different types of stuff. It is so important for you all to really, really understand intimacy and understand how important it is to communicate and get to know someone.
Right.
You have to know what someone likes. And intimacy doesn't start between your legs or in the bed. It really, really starts with a conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so, I mean, that's just my opinion with it. We really, really have to get back to being intimate on another level.
Yes.
And maybe some individuals, don't understand that because they're so used to, oh, okay, well, I have been taught to give my body. You don't have to always give your body. And so I think that all of that plays hand in hand when you think about long-term romance and trying to keep everything together. Make sure your man wants you after 6 or 7 months. Make sure your man wants you after 2 and 3 years of marriage. I'm not married. I've never been married. But some of the stuff that I hear from the older people, it used to make me not want to be married because I said, oh, well, Lord, what happened to the good men? What happened to the men who understand what it's like to have a real woman? What happened to the men that wanted something other than sex?
Yes.
And so you just have to, it goes back to setting your standards as well. You have to set standards, whether you're a man or a woman.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. Very good. Minister?
It's been my experience. I really married above my, grade. My wife has what keeps us fresh. And I wish we had more time to deal with what you were talking about, in reference to men being liars. But we'll go to this. There's a lot to be said about that. But what has kept our marriage fresh and to the point where we just love each other is that she enjoys just getting in the car and driving, holding hands, and just going to a movie. She's not high maintenance, but she's high maintenance.
Yes.
Let me qualify that now.
Yes.
Now, the reason ain't nowhere in the world, my wife is going to give me a 48-hour pass to come to Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, without trusting me. But now, having said that, we have such a bond based upon the fact that which we done in the beginning, I maintained it throughout our whole been married 14 years. And the movies, the vacations, hey, I can't wait till you get home. A text message at noon, or text message or calling her when you know that's the peak of her stress level, makes a world of difference to make a marriage or relationship or a friendship significant so that it can go to the next level. So that what you've done in the past, brothers, you got to maintain it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because then if you don't maintain it, you're a liar.
Wow, very good. I would like to hear from Golden Beauty on this topic.
I think in relationships, people need to stop being afraid to not open their legs, afraid of losing somebody that possibly not supposed to be there no way. People need to really value themselves, and to the point of you being more important than him or her until y'all, like you say, be friends and really, really get to know each other. You don't owe nobody nothing. You really don't owe them your body. You just don't owe nobody. So people need to just stop being afraid and just be themselves. I like to play. One thing I love to do, I used to watch my mother and father play. People don't want to play. People want to be serious all the time, just serious. I don't like serious all the time, although I'm a very serious person. But I love to play. I might dive on you. I might, no telling what I might do. I love it. It leads to things. It leads to the fun. You have to have fun in a relationship. You can't just always be that stick in the mud and bills here. What about y'all? Like King said, what brought you together? Not just that's going to keep you together. You got to add a little spice to that. Me and my husband used to keep a volleyball net up in the backyard. And I could just mention, babe, let's go play. That man never told me no about nothing. We would be back there hours playing badminton. I mean, he schooled me, I schooled him. And we just enjoy. We used to go ringing doorbells and running. We really did. We used to have so much fun. It's about having fun. You can't let your relationship die. That's truly up to you. So y'all can sit back and ain't nobody got nothing to do, sit back watching TV. Y'all can get out there and play. Enjoy each other.
Absolutely.
That's what I think intimacy, that's the biggest intimacy you can give in a relationship. It's laughter and joy. When you can just laugh and play with, and that's your best friend, it's amazing. That's amazing. And I won't stop until he find me. Yes.
Before we walk away from this topic, I want to say that something that I haven't heard up here on the panel, I think this is a measure of romance. It's men, when you can take your time and be attentive to your woman.
Yes, Jesus, yes.
And as she's undressing or showering or whatever she's doing, sit down next to her or whatever and say, baby, how was your day?
Yes.
Because I'm going to tell you something. She wants to talk. She wants to unload that day. And you're supposed to be that person to unload it too.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But let's flip the script. We need somebody to listen to.
Yes.
Ask us how our day is.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we need to unload.
That's right.
We need somebody to have a listening ear for us too. And those particular instances are measures of romance.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's an intimate situation there.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's an intimate situation between a man and a woman, let me rephrase that. Two mates, however you slice it up, it's romance.
That's right.
I'm going to go to another question. This one might get a little heated here. What is the line of forgiveness? Where do you cross the line to forgive? I remember 2 wives ago, ex-wives ago, I was sitting in a county jail faced with a life sentence, and I wasn't talking to my sister.
Jesus.
And my ex-wife, I was on the phone talking to her. She said, you talk to your sister? I said, no, I ain't talked to her. Why not? And look, I'm trying to deal with this. She said, you probably on your knees every day up in there faced with this sentence, huh? I said, yeah. She said, how you expect God to forgive you if you can't forgive your own sister, man?
That's right.
So what can a person do to you? I'm going to pull it back into a relationship. What a person can do to you in a relationship that draws the line that you won't forgive them? There is a line. There is a line. What is that line?